Hi, welcome once again back to the channel. So in this video we are going to look at array. So we could see from the previous videos that whenever we want to store a value, a record of a value, we create a variable for it. So for instance, if we are storing a single value, we create one variable, and then if we are to store two values, then we are going to create we are going to need two variables, each for one. If we are going to create three, we are going to take a record of three values, then we are actually going to need three variables, and so on and so forth. So you could imagine how many variables that we will have to create for uh, several values to be recorded. For instance, let's a school, for example, maybe we are actually doing about 10 subjects and we want to take the records of the marks scored by each student. So it will mean that we are actually going to create 10 different variables each for one subject. So in this way, it is going to make our code very long, and then it will take our time, you waste much time, and then it will also consume more memory space. So in view of this, there is this thing that we call arrays. So when we talk of arrays, it's a collection of multiple objects of the same data types, which are sequentially located in memory. Okay, so arrays are elements of the same data types. It's a collection of them, and then they should be of the same data type. So we could see from here the declaration of an array. So we have the type just like we used to declare variables. You have the data type of it, and then the name you want to give it, and then because it is an array, we will use these square brackets, and within it we are going to the size of the array that we want. Okay, so maybe we want 10 different elements to be in an array. So then we are going to type 10 over here, and then there are some instances that we will leave it blank to tell the compiler that we actually don't know how much uh, elements we are going to put in, and in so doing the number of elements we are going to put over here will be overwritten in the size by the compiler itself. So if you were to declare it, I would have just bring a semicolon somewhere over here. So this will be how to declare an array, just like how we declare variables in the previous videos. And then I actually initialize it over here, so you could see the array is actually having some array elements over here. So we have A, B, C, D and stuff. Okay, and then mind you that the number of elements you are going to put here should be equal or less than the size you declared over here. All right, the number of elements you are going to put here should be equal or less. Whenever it's greater than the size declared here, the compiler is going to reject your computation. All right, so let's, and then array is we call array to be a zero based index, in the sense that array starts from zero. When we are counting arrays, we start from zero. So the very first element of every array is a zero, and then the next one is one, the third one is two, the fourth one is three, and so on and so forth. So the mathematical expression for that will be n minus 1. All right, so if we are actually looking for the fifth array, then we are going to do 5 minus 1, and then the element which is at the fourth position is actually going to be the element that we are actually looking for. So let's kick in with some examples so that we see what we want. So as I was saying, we are going to use a school marks. So let's say scores that students scored in 10 subjects. Okay, so I'll do the type to be integer data type, and I'll give the name score with my square bracket, and I'm actually going to declare the size, since I know that we are inputting 10 subjects. So I could just do it and it is being declared just like this, or but I'm actually going to initialize it. So I'm going to do let's say 45, 76, last one, let's say 69. All right, so these are the array elements that I'm actually having over here. So this is an initialization of an array. If I had brought the semicolon over here, then it's going to be uh, an array declaration. All right, so I actually have 10 over here. So this is our array. So we are going to look at how we can access an index. So from here, you just do, or let me do a cout, and I'll say score, and then the array. So by bringing the square brackets, I'm referring to the array over here that has the name score. Okay, so any value index I'm going to put here, we are actually going to print the array elements of the corresponding element. Okay, so as I said earlier, um, arrays are zero based, which means the very first element of every array is a 0 followed by a 1 in that order. So I'm actually going to print out the first element of it, that is 45. Okay, okay, so let's go ahead, build this and run, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we could see we actually access the 45. That's the first element of the array, and let's change this to, let's say, the sixth element, which is going to be the fifth. Okay, so let me do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we expected the 80 to be executed. All right, and then we actually had it. So this is how arrays are declared and then assessed. And then some other way I could have done this is, after declaring, I could also come down here and I'll just do score 0 to indicate that that's the very first the first element of it. And I could do, let's say, 56, and I can do another score brackets the second element, and I'll do 77. So in this case, if I want to access the second element, I'll just do 1, and then you are going to get 77 actually. But this way is quite you're going to be repeating scores just as in a variable, so it's always not that advisable. And then we have two types of the arrays, which I'm not going to tackle the next one. So with this, the single dimension array, we have multi-dimension arrays, and then from that it depends on the dimension, so we can have 2 or 3. So the 2 is mostly referred to as the matrix form. I think we'll tackle that in some other video. So this is all what we have for you today. This is an introduction lecture to the array. So see you in the next video as we continue. Have a nice day. Bye bye.